Have you ever imagined a man who lived 500 years ago but could see the future? A man who drew flying machines before airplanes existed, who studied anatomy like a surgeon, painted like a god, and thought like a scientist. That man was Leonardo da Vinci, the Renaissance genius who seemed to belong to a different time. Today, we'll dive deep into his life, his mind, and his endless curiosity that changed the world forever. Leonardo da Vinci was born on April 15, 1452, in a small town called Vinci, near Florence, Italy. He was born out of wedlock, the son of a notary, Ser Piero, and a peasant woman named Caterina. Because of this, he didn't get the formal education that most scholars had. But maybe that was a blessing in disguise. Leonardo's school was nature itself: the flowing rivers, the flight of birds, the patterns of leaves, the light on the mountains. He was always sketching, observing, questioning everything around him. As a boy, he showed an incredible gift for drawing. His father noticed this and sent him to Andrea del Verrocchio, one of the most famous artists in Florence, to be an apprentice. There, Leonardo learned not only painting but also sculpture, engineering, and mechanics. One day, when Verrocchio asked him to paint an angel in one of his works, Leonardo's angel was so beautiful that his master supposedly put down his brush and never painted again. This was the Renaissance, a time when Europe was waking up from the darkness of the Middle Ages. It was a rebirth of art, science, and human imagination. Leonardo became the symbol of this new world, the perfect example of what people called the Renaissance man. He believed that art and science were not separate, but two sides of the same coin. Leonardo's paintings were windows into the soul. His most famous works, The Last Supper and Mona Lisa, are not just pictures, they are experiences. The Last Supper, painted in the convent of Santa Maria del Grazie in Milan, shows the moment Jesus tells his disciples that one of them will betray him. Every gesture, every expression captures the shock and emotion of that instant. It's not just art, it's psychology on a wall. Then there's the Mona Lisa, perhaps the most famous painting in history. Her mysterious smile, her eyes that seem alive, the dreamy background, they've inspired endless theories. Who was she? What is she thinking? Why does she seem to follow you with her gaze? Leonardo never said. And maybe that's why the mystery never dies. His technique of sfumato, the soft blending of colors and shadows, gave his paintings a lifelike magic that no one else could match. But Leonardo was more than an artist. His notebooks filled with thousands of sketches, diagrams, and notes written in mirror handwriting reveal the mind of a scientist, engineer, and dreamer. He studied anatomy, dissecting corpses to understand how muscles, bones, and organs worked. He drew the human heart, the fetus in the womb, and the circulatory system centuries before modern medicine confirmed his insights. He believed that to paint the human body, one must understand its machine. Leonardo also designed inventions far ahead of his time. Flying machines inspired by bats and birds. Tanks that looked like early armored vehicles. Diving suits for underwater exploration. And even mechanical robots. One of his designs, the ornithopter, was a flying machine with flapping wings. It couldn't fly then, but the concept inspired future engineers. It's as if Leonardo could imagine the age of airplanes, helicopters, and submarines centuries before they existed. His ideas were so futuristic that if he lived today, he would probably be an aerospace engineer, a biologist, and a digital artist all at once. Leonardo's notebooks also reveal his deep philosophy of life. He believed everything in nature was connected, from the flow of water to the veins in a leaf, from the motion of planets to the pulse in our wrists. He wrote, "Everything connects to everything else." He saw art as a form of science and science as an art. For him, curiosity was sacred. He would spend hours watching how water swirled in a pond, or how light fell on a face. He once said, "Learning never exhausts the mind." That was his secret, a mind that never stopped learning, never stopped questioning. After years of working for powerful patrons like Lorenzo de' Medici in Florence and Duke Ludovico Sforza in Milan, Leonardo spent his later years in France. In 1516, King Francis I invited him to live in the royal castle of Clos-Luz, near the Loire Valley. The king admired him deeply and called him the greatest mind in the world. Leonardo spent his final years teaching, drawing, and reflecting on his life's work. He carried his notebooks everywhere, those precious pages filled with dreams and discoveries. On May 2, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci passed away in France, at the age of 67. Legend says King Francis was by his side, holding his hand as he took his last breath. Leonardo left behind fewer than 20 paintings, but his notebooks, containing over 13,000 pages, continue to inspire scientists, artists, and inventors to this day. His vision crossed boundaries: art, science, anatomy, architecture, music, philosophy, and engineering. He showed us what human potential really means. He proved that imagination is not fantasy, it's the seed of progress. That the future belongs to those who observe deeply, dream fearlessly, and never stop asking why. Leonardo once wrote, "A day well spent brings happy sleep. So a life well used brings happy death." He truly lived that life. A life of curiosity, wonder, and creation. And maybe, that's the real lesson of Leonardo da Vinci. To be alive is to learn, to dream, to create endlessly. So, next time you see a plane flying in the sky, a robot moving, or an artist sketching with passion, remember, somewhere in history, Leonardo da Vinci imagined it first. He was not just a man of his time. He was a man for all time.